So this video is designed to provide a brief overview of the island and the terrain in which we'll be operating. The event itself will be based entirely in Mrcara Island, which lies in the Adriatic Sea just off the Dalmatian coast. Now the island itself is 3 kilometres long by 1.5 kilometres wide, with a total coastline of around 8 kilometres. The highest peak is 123 metres above sea level, and the terrain in places is extremely challenging, so great care must be taken at all times. The hills are steep, the rocks are sharp, and the plants and bushes are covered in thorns. The risk of injury is fairly high, and the nearest major hospital is about an hour away by boat and helicopter. So let's take a look at some of the key features on the island. So first thing you'll notice about the island is the jetty, and this is a concrete structure some 50 metres long with a tidal break. And it's a good opportunity for you to enjoy a swim after your day of running around the island playing soldiers. Leading from the jetty is a flight of stone steps which leads into the interior of the island. The steps from the jetty terminate in the barracks complex, and this is a small clearing which contains a collection of buildings, two of which have 2 floors. The most easterly building is a rough toilet block, and when I say rough I mean rough. The large buildings to the north and south surround a large flat clearing which incorporates the parade ground and the firing range where you can test your equipment. The largest buildings serve as accommodation blocks throughout the course of the event. It's a bit rough and ready, so you'll need to take your own sleeping bags and mats if you want a higher level of comfort. On the western coast of the island is Turtle Bay, which is a potential amphibious landing site for an assault on Four Gun Hill and Little Brother, which are generally 2 of the key objectives. Located in the southern part of the island is Shark Bay, and again this is a potential amphibious landing site for an assault on another key objective, Big Brother. Four Gun Hill is the 3rd highest peak in the island and the 2nd highest point in the north of the island. It occupies strategic high ground as a natural support point for the complex and Little Brother. On the summit of Four Gun Hill is an interconnected network of 3 mortar firing pits and a fortified machine gun nest. The land-based approach to Four Gun Hill is made along a well-defined rough track through heavy woodland which offers countless ambush opportunities for a force that's defending. Four Gun Hill rises to the right of the trail, and the attacking force is faced with a barrier of cliff, scree and massive rock structures. This is partially covered by rugged brush and thorn bushes. It's brutal terrain, and any force attacking up this approach will be required to scale the cliffs or attack up through the scree and the boulder slope to the right. The rear approaches to Four Gun Hill are heavily covered in impenetrable thorn bushes and brush, so if you want to take this approach, good luck. Little Brother is 110 metres above sea level and offers commanding views of all approaches in the surrounding coastline, allowing advance warning of any land-based or waterborne attack. Little Brother is protected from the north by the Maginot Line, which is a large fortified concrete wall with an integrated tunnel system and machine gun firing points with interlocking arcs of fire, and it's a difficult place to take. The Maginot Line looks out and protects the north flank of Little Brother and the island itself. The exposed top of Little Brother features massive concrete firing positions and is bristling with gun emplacements and multiple entry points into the tunnel system below. Beneath Little Brother is a complex of interconnected man-made tunnels over 5 levels. There are 5 key entrance points which link the surface to different levels of the complex. Level 1 of the tunnel complex is the uppermost level, and it allows movement between the fortified positions and the summit of Little Brother without having to go above ground. It's possible to move from the north to the south or the east to the west of Little Brother without having to break ground. The tunnels were designed to allow a small defending force to defeat a much larger attacking force, and the complex contains countless murder holes and false turns. There's no ambient light in the tunnels whatsoever. They're completely pitch black, and without a flashlight it will be impossible to operate in the tunnels. The communications bunker is another key point. It's a large concrete structure located in the northern slope of Little Brother. It's accessed by traversing the summit of Little Brother and bearing on a roughly westerly heading. The underground growth in this area is heavy and the gradient is steep, so the going is pretty rough. The bunker itself resembles a short tunnel similar to those found inside Little Brother, but it's got no exits other than the main entrance itself, and it stands on a rough trail that is fairly difficult to follow at times. At 123 metres above sea level, Big Brother is the highest point in the island. On the summit of Big Brother is a small clearing, and the hill itself can only be approached through dense jungle on all sides, although a rough trail does exist. So hopefully that's provided some insight into what the island has to throw at us.